Hey guys, welcome back. So let's move on to the next section. So you can see the next section in our list is under the headings type, and it is the section heading. So this is another one that you're going to use very frequently in your themes. As you can see, this one has a few less settings than the last one. The first setting, again, this is a global setting for most sections, which so in the future we probably won't dive into this one, but this is just to set the background color of this section. So we'll keep it at the default white color for now. This is the width of the heading section, and it might be hard to tell right now, but let's come back to this one in a second. This is the alignment. So right now you can see it defaults to center aligned, both on desktop and on the mobile. However, we can choose to left align the heading if we'd like. And now if we go back to desktop, we can see it's left aligned. And now we can see the effect of this section max width on the desktop. So typically the workflow here would be you want to maintain a consistent width throughout your page. So if you set the width of your heading to 1100 pixels, for example, and you left align it, then you're likely going to want to have the sections below it match it at 1100 pixels. So you get a nice sort of, continuous width throughout your page, which, just makes it look a little bit cleaner. This is where we'll set the heading text. This is where we can bold or unbold the heading. Notice that the typography for the heading is that fat face, and if you move back, or if we go back to the theme settings typography, so in the last lesson we switched it to this Arial fat face type, and this is the one that it's using for this header. So if you wanted to change the heading font typography, you would do that here in the general settings. This is another cool option. So we can actually center our heading and add these sort of lines. So depending on the style of your theme, I think these look really smart for certain theme or web page styles. And again, you can see that they show up for both the desktop and the mobile. So that's a good option to play with. We can set the color of our heading here, the font size on desktop and mobile, and the letter spacing as well. This is the option to include a subheading if we want to. So if we click this, you can see we have a subheading appear below it. And the subheading does give you the option for if you want to use your body typography or your header typography. So if we switch to the header, you can see that it matches the heading. And if we switch back to the body, then it goes back to that default Montserrat style text. This is the color for it. This is where we set the inner text of our subheading right here. We can choose to bold the subheading. We can again change the font size of the subheading, and we again included individual controls for desktop and mobile, which you can see here. This is the top padding. So we added this option in case you wanted to increase the space between your subheader and your main heading. So right now it's at 5 pixels. Let's just crank it up to 40, and you can see all this extra space showed up here. Padding. So these are, again, some of those common settings that we have. So if we add padding to the top, we'll increase padding here. And to visualize this better, let's just actually give this section a funky background color for now of a dark blue. So you can see that it coincides perfectly with this section above it. And if we give it extra top padding, it'll just in effect shift this section downwards and add extra space here. And we have a similar option for the bottom padding here. Left-right padding. This is actually unique to this section heading. I believe this is the only section with this option, but the reason we did it was not so much for the desktop, but if you switch back to the mobile view, you might want to play with the left and right padding, especially if you're using the center with lines. So you can see in this case, our heading switched to 2 lines. And it actually might not be this way on a typical iPhone, because the Shopify mobile preview you'll find is actually pretty narrow. So I do recommend, before like designing this, or as you're designing your mobile view, definitely maybe open up your phone and scroll along and check the changes on your actual phone if you can, because there will be a difference. But nevertheless, let's just play with the settings. So right now you can see it went to 2 lines, and if we decrease the left-right padding, let's just set it to 6, we can see that we got it back to like 1 line here, like this. So yeah, that's what that does. And then this is the animation. So again, like the other settings, we can have an animation for our header if we want. So if we save it, we'll see it bounce in from the left, like that. Okay, and that's it for the heading section. Thanks. See you in the next one.